The global migration landscape is changing. Alongside Europe, North America, and the Middle East, several Latin American countries are now emerging as transit points for Bangladeshi migrants. Routes through Peru, Ecuador, Mexico, and Brazil are increasingly being used by those trying to reach the United States or Canada. This new migration trend is being shaped by a mix of legal, social, and economic factors. There are several reasons why Bangladeshi migrants are using Latin America as a transit route. One major factor is easier visa access and entry requirements. Some Latin America countries have more relaxed visa policies, making them preferable stopover destinations for Bangladeshis. In countries like Ecuador, Bolivia, and Peru, temporary visa or entry arrangements often allow migrants to continue their journey more easily towards their next destination. Secondly, Brazil and Mexico have been viewed as major transit points for undocumented migrants for years. In Brazil, some local communities have formed informal support and information sharing networks. However, illegal groups sometimes become involved as well, charging high fees for visas, documents, or transportation arrangements. Various agents and broker networks are also involved in these routes, often guiding migrants through informal channels. Since the 1990s, online services and social media groups have gradually become a growing source of migration-related information. These platforms often share advice on visas, transit routes, and travel procedures for migrants. However, not all of the information is reliable. In some cases, unofficial guides charge large sums of money while providing poor or misleading guidance. Legal analysts say that as these transit routes expand across Latin America, some criminal groups are taking advantage of the situation. This includes document forgery, pressure to bypass legal procedures at border crossings, and the use of unregistered vehicles or unofficial land routes. In some cases, migrants can become vulnerable to human trafficking networks. For many years, the Mexico border has served as a major transit point for migrants from different parts of South and Central America. Several local and international organizations operate there to support migrant safety and human rights by providing food, legal assistance, and temporary shelter. But that support is often limited, and many migrants still attempt dangerous border crossings on their own. Migration policy experts in Bangladesh say the biggest risk of using Latin American transit routes are poor planning and uncertain legal conditions. While most migrants follow legal pathways, others are pushed into risky situations because of unofficial guides, making their journey far more dangerous. International organizations such as the International Organization for Migration encourage migrants to follow safe and legal pathways, with a strong focus on border security and migrant protection. In reality, however, not everyone follows these guidelines, as legal migration routes are often seen as lengthy and expensive because of visa requirements. On the other hand, some migrants are trying to build livelihoods by connecting with local community groups. They earn money through small businesses, handicrafts, or work in local retail shops. But these sources of income often depend on legal document and visa status. Taking unnecessary risks can leave them in an unstable situation. According to analysts, using a transit route is not a crime in itself, but when the process moves outside legal regulations, visa conditions, and international human rights standards, those involved can face serious risks. That growing use of Latin American transit routes by Bangladeshi migrants reflects a changing reality in global migration. While these routes may create new opportunities, they also come with major uncertainty and risk.